So, England announced their England squad for the upcoming international games. And this is the squad that we've got. So, we've got Henderson, Pickford, Pope in goal. Dan Burn, Guehi, James, Konsa, Nico O'Reilly, Quansah, hence Bayern Leverkusen, Jed Spence, John Stones. It's the defence. In midfield, we've got Anderson, Bellingham, Henderson, Rice, Rodgers, Alex Scott, first cap, and Adam Morton playing very well. And the forwards, we've got Bowen, Eze, Foden, Gordon, I think he's injured, Kane, Rashford, and Saka. So I'm going to talk through some of the names that I think maybe are a bit unlucky they didn't get a shout, and some of the names in here were actually I'm not too sure on why they're in the squad. But yeah, so let's do it. So goalkeeper wise, to be honest, I was pretty happy with this. I think Pope's been playing really well, Pickford's been playing well, and Henderson's been playing well. So I think, to be fair, they're okay. I think Trafford drops out. He's not been playing for City, so it's understandable that he's not in the squad. Defence-wise, I think it's an interesting one. So you've got Dan Burn, who can play centre-back and left-back. You've got O'Reilly that plays left-back. You've got Jed Spence that plays left-back or right-back, so it gives you some good versatility there. Reece James, arguably the starting right-back, probably the best right-back we've got. But we haven't got I think last squad we had Lewis Skelly. I think honourable mention needs to go to Tyreek Mitchell. I'm going to have a look at some of his stats, because he's actually been playing pretty well. He starts most of the games for Palace. Obviously, Palace are playing well. Let's have a look. So he's played 900 minutes. He's coming with a goal, a rating of 7.24. So he is playing well. Let's see if we can do a bit of a comparison from him to some of the other fullbacks. I think for Lewis Skelly, the reason he's not in there, he's just not played loads. Same with him and Rico Lewis. They've just not played loads. Why is this not working? Right, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at Lewis Skelly, see if he's on it. Oh, well, that's good. Good start. Oh, that's why, because it's on there. Goalkeepers. So, we've got Tyreek Mitchell here. We'll get... I don't know if Lewis Skelly's going to be on here, because he's not played loads. Yes, he's not even on here. Same with Rico Lewis. We've got Dan Burn. As you see, completely different in terms of abilities. Oh, Spence. So this is interesting. So I think honourable mention here for Tyreek Mitchell, because defensive duels here, possession 1 is actually higher. I'm surprised there it's higher than Jed Spence. I thought his possession 1 would be a lot more. You can see he's a bit more of a carrier of the ball. They play a different formation at Palace. But he's not really got his crosses are higher. See, Dan Burn's a bit more of a aerial threat, a bit more of a solid fullback. He's played 1,000 minutes, as you see here. He's a decent option. I think he'd probably, out of all of the squads, probably thinks I probably could have had a chance here. If we go back and look, O'Reilly's in there. To be honest, he's actually a good player. He's playing really well. Let's see if we can get O'Reilly on here. Let's focus just on O'Reilly and Mitchell at the moment. It's not too dissimilar. So O'Reilly carries the ball more. Obviously, Man City maybe have more possession. They play with the ball a lot more. Less crosses than Mitchell. More assists, more goal involvements. I know he scored a few goals as well. So he's a bit more of a goal threat. But yeah, it's a difficult one for Mitchell. I think if there was an injury, he'd probably be the next one in. Lewis Skelly hasn't played enough time. Rico Lewis hasn't played enough. And we haven't got loads and loads of options. Luke Shaw's obviously injured. So yeah, I think he's just one player out of the defence that I think probably could have done it with a chance. What other players we've got here? So we've got Gurhey, starting centre-back. Quansah. Look, I'm rocking the Bayern Leverkusen, but I think he's been playing well in Bundesliga, but I'm not always convinced. Stones hasn't played a lot this year. I think Ezri Quansah is a brilliant defender, to be fair to him, and always seems to play well when playing for England. Oh, let's just change the view. Centre back. Stones. So he's only played 367 minutes this year, so he's not actually played a load of games. This is one player that I wanted to debate. And feel free, let me know if there's anyone I've missed out here, but Chalobah. So he had a couple of games he was injured, but I think he's a top defender. He's got bags of pace, plays a lot for Chelsea. Every time I watch him, I look at him and think he's becoming a bit more of a leader in that team. They're not blessed with experience at Chelsea, but he is a player he was on loan last year at Palace, played really well. They called him back, and he just looks like a top player. I was surprised he wasn't in the squad, to be honest. Tomori is another one that he's a bit in and out of the team at Milan. But look, he's played more minutes than Stones. I get it. Stones is an experienced player that Tuchel would want in his squad. I do get that. He's been around these squads before. It's a shame. Tomori's never really got a look in any of the squads. He's, again, a big, strong defender. Great pace about him. And when England, they tend to have possession a lot, right? So they push their full-backs up. The centre-backs sometimes are quite high and need to have that pace to track back. Quansah's got that pace. I think Chalobah is someone that can maybe think himself as a bit unlucky not being in this squad. But yeah, look, Tomori's a bit in and out of the Milan team, and it's a shame that he's not had more opportunities to show what he can do at international level. So they're probably the two defenders that I wanted to talk about today. The rest of them right back, we've got Reece James and Spence. Look, I'm a Spurs fan. I'm a bit biased, but I think Spence is a great defender. Reece James, arguably, I think he's the best. Is he the best fullback in the Prem? When he's fit, he's unreal. What a player. Other people to discuss. Well, let's move on to the midfield. Elliot Anderson is an absolute shoo-in now for England. He's playing great. His teammate Gibbs White has dropped out. Been a bit hit and miss. He scored, I think, in 2 of his last 5 games, but the ones in between he's not actually played great. I know he missed a penalty the other day. Jude Bellingham comes back in after injury. I think it's time to integrate him back into the squad, get him ready for the summer. Jordan Henderson's been brilliant at Brentford. We've got Alex Scott, who he said is going to play as a number 8, which is an interesting one. Let's see if we can get some stats on Alex Scott. And then let's see if we can do Gibbs White. You can see they're completely different players. Key passes a lot higher from Gibbs White, but then when you've got someone like Anderson, realistically, is he going to play? I think this is a bit of a reward for Scott for playing so well in a Bournemouth team that Tuchel said they're overperforming. Right, no one really thought they were going to get to the heights that they have, but they're playing brilliantly. Look at this though; that's really interesting. So possession 1 is a lot higher. So I don't realise this about Scott, but he's great in the duels. He wins possession. He seems to keep things easy when you watch him. And Elliot Anderson's another one of those players. He's quite steady on the ball. They played with each other at under 21s. So I think it's a reward. Will he get a cap? That would be nice. We'll see what happens. But yeah, Wharton's another good player. Again, he's more of a 6. Let's get him in here, Wharton. He's more of a 6. Let's take Gibbs White out rather than an 8. But progressive passes, duels 1, key passes. I think he's a top player. Top player. I think Palace will do well to keep him next summer. He's been brilliant this year. He's been out for a couple of games, but he's just so good. It's nice to see him back in the England squad. Then you've got forwards like Eze's. You could argue that Eze's a bit of a midfielder. You've got Foden in there that can play the midfield role. Gordon's injured. I'm pretty sure Gordon's injured, but he's part of the squad. Bowen's one that, look, some people sometimes say that Bowen shouldn't be in the squad, but I think he's a great player. Oh, I've got to change the filter. Let's be honest, without Bowen, West Ham would be in trouble. Other players I wanted to talk about, Murphy. Wow, that's interesting. So obviously Murphy's not played as much games as Bowen. Bowen's the captain, he's the man. But Jacob Murphy's putting in some really good performances for Newcastle. I mean, I think he's keeping Elanga out of the team at the moment. He lost his space, he brought it back. He's one of these players, you thought it was kind of, he was going to maybe end up going to a lower team, but he's held his own and he's doing really well. He's involved in goals a lot. You can see here, gets lots of crosses in. That's the thing now. They've got Voltemada up front. They try and get the cross in. He chips in with the assists. He's a threat, goals and assists wise. Maybe he doesn't dribble as much. Goes on the outside and tries to get his crosses in. But he's got a bit of like, and Bowen's good at this as well. He can go inside and go outside. He's a good option. But yeah, he's not been rewarded with his call up just yet, which is a shame. He's 30 years old. Maybe Tuchel's thinking like there's not that longevity there. But yeah, one other player I wanted to have a look at is Hudson-Odoi actually. He passes as high, crosses as high, carrying. Look, he's 24. I think he's actually 25 now, and he's gone past that stage of like being a wonder kid, isn't he, Hudson-Odoi? He's not played as much minutes, 620 minutes this year. He's been a bit in and out of the Forest team, who, let's be honest, they've been struggling. And he's not hit the heights that he hit last year. Obviously, a lot of managerial change within that team. But he's someone I'd love to see kick on and have like a bit of a push for the squad in the summer. Because he's a really good option. Obviously, we've got Rashford there. I think he's great. Gordon's great. So it's a hard position, right? It's really competitive. Bowen gives you a little bit where he can play striker, and I think that's it. If we look at who we've got here, Kane's really the only striker, out and out striker, but Bowen can play in there. Rashford can play in there. If he's fit, you could argue that Gordon can play in there. Foden can do a false nine job. I would probably say Eze's more of a midfielder, but they sometimes look at Eze on the left wing. Obviously, there's no Grealish. There's a lot of talk on Grealish, right? So let's have a look and see how Grealish is getting on. Let's see how he compares to someone like Eze. Wow, gosh. That tells a story, right? Look at that. Look how much more involved he is. Assists, key passes. Obviously, he's more on the wing than Eze is. Eze's playing a bit more in the pocket at the moment. So like crosses-wise, that makes sense. Dribbling a lot less. You see Grealish is carrying the ball more. He brings Everton up the pitch, dribbles a lot more involved. If he keeps playing the way that he's playing, I think he gives Tuchel no option. I think he'll have to put him in there somewhere. Even if it's someone that you need in the last sort of 15 minutes to hold on to the ball, to win a foul. There's no one better than Jack Grealish at the moment, and it's great to see that he's brought his form back. There's a big debate on Danny Welbeck. Let's have a look at how Welbs has got on. Oh, if I can spell. He's just been prolific. He hasn't played loads and loads, but let's see if we compare him to some of the other top strikers in the league. So let's see if Ekitike is on here. Yeah, played similar sort of minutes actually. Let's see how many goals he's got so far. I think he's on like 6. So he's 34 now. Yeah, 6 goals in roughly 600 minutes. Started 7 of those. He's involved, isn't he? He's a threat in the box. What's really interesting, he's not... I would always think, oh, Danny Welbeck, aerial threat. Not really. Compared to these stats here, Brighton tend to try and play the ball on the floor. They try and whip those crosses in. He's not really being used as a target man. as much as he's a tall guy, right? You might think so. He holds the ball up really well. He's still an absolute athlete at 34, and he's really pushing. I don't know if he'll take him. Watkins dropped out of the squad this time. Watkins, let's see if we can compare. Oh gosh, you can tell I need to go back to school. So Watkins has played more minutes. Obviously, it's a different style of team, but just complete contrast in terms of the effect that he's having on the games. Wow, look at the conversion rate. Conversion rate is just absolutely stark. Let's have a look at Watkins. So he's 29 now, coming up to 30 around Christmas time. 1 goal. He's only got 1 goal this year, and he's started 9 of those games. Welbeck was 7, right? So he's really not having a good time. It's not the best of form that you want in a World Cup year. It's a good debate here. Ivan Toney, obviously playing out in Saudi. You can have that argument on like the quality of the football different to the Premier League, but he's a penalty taker as well. That's the only thing I think. Would there be an opportunity for Toney if Kane gets injured? We haven't got like a big strong striker. Can you imagine coming up against these big centre backs like Upamecano or Saliba, just to name a few, Ruben Diaz, like these big centre backs? It's going to be a difficult one, right? If we have to play a different way to what we've played with Harry Kane up front, he can do a bit of everything. So yeah, it's be interesting to see what Tuchel does. But they're just a couple of my picks on people I think have been a bit unlucky this time. I get it with Henderson, to be honest. Good experienced player to have. You'll have players like Wharton that will learn off about him. They're both probably like the 6s. You've got Rice, Anderson. Anderson can maybe do a little bit of the 6, a little bit of an 8. But then you've got the more progressive. I think Declan Rice can be a bit more progressive. Obviously, Rodgers likes to be in a bit more of an attacking midfield position, and so is Eze. So we've got some good options. There's a few players that are obviously quite new to the squad. So you don't look at it and say, oh, we've got absolute world-class players in every single position. But I suppose he's got some games just to test some of these players out. It'd be interesting. Just hope Jed Spence. I really hope Jed Spence stays injury-free. So he can get in that England squad. He's playing quite regularly for Tottenham. And I think he's a brilliant player. So yeah, that's my take on the England squads. Let me know if there's anyone that I missed out. If there's anything else that you would add in on this squad, let me know. I'm going to do some more videos, so subscribe, like, and stay in touch.